What's going on, nerds? Welcome back to Comic Book Nerd Nation, episode number 87. I'm Fox2. We got Topher, who's half asleep, and the whole effing Brian.
It's another episode where we don't get to copy Pirate without it says hello. I'm sad.
I know. Topher's all tired from playing in Magic the Gathering tournament last night.
Yeah.
How did you do? Did you gather all of the magic?
Yeah, I gathered so much magic. I had magic for days. It was crazy.
Obviously, somebody with a sleeping potion damaged you for -1.
-1 sleeping potion?
Yeah, +2 that stacks every time you use sleep.
+3 insomnia?
Yeah.
We can't all be old men like Fox and like get up at 8 o'clock on a fucking weekend.
Yeah, I get up at 8 o'clock.
I was up at 6.
Jesus Christ.
8 o'clock.
That's for
lazy people.
I was up at 6 last Saturday. Or the week before that.
You hadn't been to bed yet.
Well,
doing it right.
Fox had to spread the mothballs before he gets on and records.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Sounds about right.
All right, let's jump right in and let's start talking about what you guys have been reading, because clearly I didn't
read.
I didn't read anything again. Yeah, I'm really slacking. It's getting to the point now where it's pretty much embarrassing. I'm on a weekly comic book podcast, and it's been a good solid month since I've done any real reading. I need to get back on that for sure. So I've just been spending too much time doing other stuff, I guess. I don't know. Minecrafting.
Yeah, we haven't. Well, that's a good excuse, but we're not called the Comic Book Lazy Nation. So
that's true.
Read something.
I do. I need to make some time and read. I've got 2 books that I've been halfway through for the better part of a month now. It's kind of embarrassing. But Topher, tell us about what the X-Men are up to.
But let's jump right in. After this 30-minute explanation about why I haven't been reading.
Yes.
Wait
a minute. Hold on a second. You, of all people, are going to jump my case about being long-winded? This is the motherfucker that says, don't spoil an episode or an issue of a comic book, but will literally be able to repeat almost every single word from every single speech bubble in every single panel for like 30 fucking issues in a row.
If you ever read a comic, you would know that that's not what I actually do.
Yeah. All right. So what are the X-Men up to this week?
Yeah, I read the X-Men. Guess what? I read more. I read probably more different titles lately than you have actually read issues of any comic book to talk about on your comic book podcast for the last month and a half.
Yeah, so, you're probably right.
Give me shit about reading comics and talking about comics on our comic podcast. One of us should.
I have a suggestion. Next week, when Topher reads all his or tells us about his X-Men, he should do it in a like soap opera type form.
What do you mean?
Like Cyclops is now banging this chick. And
yeah.
Wolverine's grumpy and he doesn't like what's going on.
Wolverine's dead. I don't think he likes what's going on at all.
These are the days of our X-Men.
Right, exactly. This week, see, Jean Grey is still crushing hardcore on young Scott, and she's a little bitter that Scott went out into space, so she's been taken out, and then you've got Emma, who, has pretty much broken up with old Scott because, he tried to kill her to steal her power during AVX. So, I mean, that would kind of piss off any girlfriend. So, they broke up. She's really hurting over it, so she's trying to get back at him and show him how cool she's doing without him. And, so she tries to take it out on young Jean Grey because young Jean Grey's all like, like a badass and she's a hot shot. And old Emma's like, psh, whatever. or just a teenage version, I could totally beat up on her. Like, Scott loved this little twerp, and so like you've got this love triangle going on, and it's
This sounds more like the fucking dialogue out of like a 16 teeny bop, like a 16-year-old girl's teeny bopper movie or some shit.
Oh, what's that?
He wanted it to sound like a soap opera. I don't know.
That was special.
Anyway, so I have been reading. What have I been reading? All New X-Men and Uncanny X-Men. Had started, and I just dropped the stack on my headphone cord and yanked it out of my ear, and ow, that hurt. And let's get my shit together here. So All New X-Men was they found this New Mutant, and I mentioned it last week, where they get teleported to the Ultimate Universe and meet Ultimate Spider-Man. It ended up being kind of cool, actually. It was you apparently can't read an X-Men comic without there being some sort of alternate universe or alternate timeline involved.
Yeah, I was gonna say
or aliens.
It's just not, or aliens. So so in these you had all three.
It's an orgasmic comic book.
No, that was the other X-Men book that I talked about last time that just had the aliens. They were all about the Shi'ar. All New X-Men had the alternate universe when they go to the Ultimate Universe. But again, it was kind of cool because, like, Ultimate Universe. I've never read shit about the Ultimate Universe. Like, I've never read any of Ultimate X-Men, so I don't know what the hell they've got going on. But apparently, some of them are dead. So again, it was kind of cool. Like, you've got. I really like how they've been doing this, like telling, like, kind of flashing back to years worth of stories with artwork. Like earlier on in All New X-Men, it was cool because you've got young Jean Grey, and she's trying to figure out why everybody's looking at her so weird, and and she's talking to old, current day Beast, and she's like, so what the hell happens to us? And so he opens up his mind to her, and like there's this cool artwork page where like it shows her in the middle, and then there's like concentric circles on like a double page spread where it just shows like scenes from like the last 40 years of X-Men history, like all the things that have happened to Jean Grey, and like it's just really cool to like pick out the panels and like and be like, oh, that was the scene from Dark Phoenix, or oh, that was the when she was Black Queen of the Hellfire Club, or oh, and then that was when she and Cyclops got married. Just all these old scenes, that just doing like flashbacks without a whole lot of explanation, which probably, if you don't know what they are, is frustrating for somebody without explanation. But when you recognize
that's why they
them,
listen to the podcast.
Right. It's like when you do recognize them, you're like, oh, that's kind of really cool. Like, wow, look at all the shit on this, on this page. So they did that a couple times in this arc because Jean Grey goes to she goes up to Miles Morales and she's trying to figure out, like what the hell's going on, because she keeps asking questions, and this is like right after the Cataclysm event in the Ultimate Universe, and Miles is like, yeah, giant purple guy just destroyed like all of New Jersey, and she's like, wait, what? Huh? And so she reads his mind to see what he's talking about, and then realizes that she's not on her Earth, but like you get this giant, another page spread of, every time Jean Grey like reads somebody's mind and gets like a freaking crash course in 30 years of character history, like you get these cool double page spreads of like just all these events and shit. And so like I've never read any of Ultimate Spider-Man either, so I had no idea what the fuck that shit was, but like it was kind of cool, like looking at all the different events that happened to Miles Morales and be like, oh, weird, like I kind of get a feel for, in there. So there was one that I didn't know all the events, but it was really cool to just see them all laid out there, and you could kind of get like a weird empathic feeling about that character's history just from looking at all the art. It was very, very descriptive and very cool what they did there. And then the X-Men, meet the Ultimate Universe's X-Men, and so again, just like when the young X-Men came into the future and meet their old selves, now they're meeting their alternate universe selves, the ones that aren't dead anyway, and so the ones that like are standing there and like their counterparts dead, Ultimate X-Men are all staring at them like, whoa, like this is so weird, and it's always kind of cool to see the character interactions when people meet alternate versions of themselves, and Iceman meeting himself in any universe is always really funny too. Um, but then of course the two Jean Greys decide to mind meld, and you get another splash page of everything that's happened, like the two of them together, like in across the universes, and it's pretty cool. So I liked what they did there. They eventually beat up on Ultimate Doctor Doom and find their way back. But it was a fun story, a good little alternate universe story, and also kind of sets some of them up to meet some people from the Ultimate Universe like Miles Morales. So when he eventually, well, he probably is currently now all on Battle World together, and they end up in the same universe after Secret Wars here. They will have had some history together. And then I also read a story arc in Uncanny X-Men that follows up from the out of Original Sin last year. You had the reading of the Last Will and Testament of Charles Xavier, and it was kind of interesting because X-Men did the Aliens with Shi'ar, All New X-Men did the alternate universe with Ultimate Spider-Man, and then Uncanny X-Men did the time travel thing. So you've got they all go to for Xavier's will reading, like all the Uncanny X-Men who are on the outs with Wolverine's team in New York go over there to listen to this will reading, and so Wolverine's trying not to stab Scott in the throat, and and they find out that Professor Xavier had that he was married to Mystique somehow at some point, and that there was some mutant that he discovered early on in his career that had just ridiculous powers, like almost pretty much god level powers, and couldn't control them. So Professor X had no choice, at least as he saw it, but to put up all these mental blocks and basically mind wipe him and make him think that he didn't even have powers. So he's been living a normal life, but now that X is dead, those blocks are coming down, and suddenly there's this mutant with the powers of a god running loose who doesn't know how to control them. So he asks the X-Men to go and find this guy and help him. So they go out there, and Cyclops tries to recruit him for his mutant revolution and use him as like a giant freaking nuclear deterrent threat, basically. And it ends up being a pretty cool story because Scott goes pretty far, and to the point where even Magneto is like, dude, you need to chill the fuck out. When Magneto says you're doing too much in the name of mutant freedom, then perhaps you need to revise your tactics. So it ends up being pretty cool because one of Scott's recruits on the Uncanny X-Men team decides that this shouldn't be, and goes back and tries to alter the timeline to prevent this from happening, and at the end, you get some pretty interesting reactions from Cyclops when he looks back at how things played out, and whether it was the right thing for him to do. So it was a pretty interesting character arc for Cyclops, I thought, and doesn't give too much away. But that was like Uncanny X-Men issues 26 through 31. So that was last fall through this up till this spring. So I'm almost caught up. I'm getting there. And next time I'll probably end up talking about Avengers, actually, because I think that's what's next on the list.
Right on.
Uncanny Avengers?
I have been reading that, but no, Avengers World, and New Avengers, all the stuff that's
leading
up to Secret Wars.
That was alright.
Now,
Uncanny Avengers was That book was
Wasn't that
okay.
bad.
Like it was basically all a giant lead up to Axis, and it tied so much into Remender's, Uncanny X-Force run that. But I liked it. It started out pretty cool, with like Captain America wanting to form the Unity Squad and get mutants and humans working together, But you've got like 3 humans, and then the mutants are Wolverine, who's been an Avenger for the last, 15 years of comics, Scarlet Witch, who pretty much destroyed all the mutants and never hangs out with them anyway, and isn't, was never really an X-Man, and Rogue. So okay, you brought one new person into the fold. That's not
Havoc.
exactly what I could.
You forgot.
Oh
Havoc.
yeah, Havoc. Yeah, and has him
We
lead.
pushed us to lead.
Um, But
I liked
but he's
Havoc when he was
undermining him.
base better.
Yeah, when him and Polaris with Corsair and shit running the Space Jammers, Star Jammers, Space Jammers.
All
What the fuck am I
right.
talking
Before,
about? Space Jammers. Yeah, him and Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny flying around being
did you
space.
hear
forget
that they're
Bill
doing?
Mo.
They're doing another one with
Yeah,
LeBron
Yeah.
James.
on James.
Yeah, I don't agree with that, but anyway, I have to jump in real quick and defend myself. Topher, I did actually read something this week. I forgot about it. I'm so used to saying that I didn't read
Did
anything
you
this
read
week.
a book real quick while I was giving my super long-winded explanation?
No, I didn't.
Just so
Actually,
you can say I read something.
earlier this week I read some more of. I have these Marvel Essentials Hulk books, and I've read the whole first volume, and I'm on the second volume, and I'm like just 1 or 2 issues away from finishing up the Tales to Astonish run of Hulk before he got his individual like solo title. I really like the earlier stuff because it's kind of different. There's not really much of a continuity. It's really broken into like individual stories in the really early stuff. So it's kind of nice. It's easy to read. It's a little more wordy just because of the time period in which the stuff was written. But yeah, the only other thing that I don't really care for is the fact that, like, I mean, as you can see, there's no color, so it's really just
Right.
Oh, can you draw it in yourself? Can you
yeah,
color
it's a
it
giant
yourself?
coloring book. No, it takes away from it. It does, not having the color, but it's a good way to be able to affordably read a lot of these old, really old issues in paper format without having to go digital on it. I have a lot of the old Tales to Astonish comics, but they're so old and just frail. I would be pretty nervous, like taking them out and like actually going through and trying to read them all, just for the simple fact that I think I would probably like rip the cover off of some of them.
Would it be more jarring if it was in color and Hulk was still gray?
That was only
Now-
for the very first issue.
Now you
Oh,
can't.
was it?
Yeah,
Wasn't sure how
they
long
had
that
color-
lasted.
Yeah, that only lasted for the very first issue of Hulk #1 when he had his solo title.
Wasn't that because like gray was
Yeah.
cheaper to print or
Oh,
whatever?
that's cool. That's a cool page.
That's the
Yeah, the mind
cool
meld.
spread I was talking about, where the 2 Jean Greys are like getting a glimpse into the other's universe and what happened to them in it. And it's
Yeah, that's
kind
pretty
of cool.
What did you
Wasn't-
say, Brian, about
Wasn't
the
that
Grey Hulk?
wasn't that because like gray was cheaper to print or whatever?
No, they just did it. They just did it gray, just because that's the color that they picked. But I believe it was Stan Lee after the first issue just said like, "No, I don't like that. I don't like how that looks. Do it green." And so they just without any kind of writing it in or anything in the second issue, they just changed him to green. So there's only that very first issue where he's gray.
Where he wasn't ripe yet.
Where he wasn't quite ripe yet. Actually, if I can take this down without making too much noise, on my wall behind the camera you can't see. But this is the Hulk #1 cover where he was still gray. So that's the only issue.
I have that
where
same
he was
one.
gray. Yeah, it's awesome. These things are fantastic. If you guys haven't,
They're awesome.
if you're watching this and you haven't seen these, they carry them at like Meyer. I've seen them at like TJ Maxx as well, and a few other places like
Suncoast.
Big
Target
Lots
has
them.
them. You guys still have Suncoast?
Yeah, we have one, I think.
We don't
But
have it.
they're only like what,
Like $15.
$15. I've got this one.
And like
I've
that's
got one, two.
it's like
I've got,
press board,
six
but it's
of
like
them,
a giant. It's like a large wood.
yeah.
Like you don't need to frame it.
No,
It's not like a poster. It's like it's printed on wood.
Yeah,
and,
so it's kind of thick and durable. It's not, you're not going to rip it
yeah.
or anything.
You can hang it straight on the wall, and like they look super good, and they're like giant comic book covers for.
Yeah, so I have those. I have that
$15.
one. I have the Batman 251, where the Joker is standing over the city with Batman on the Ace of Spades, and I have
I've got Ace of
Spades?
I've got like a-
Death of Green Goblin also.
I've got a bunch of those, and most of them are sitting in a stack, waiting for me to actually get my my nerd room together and actually hang them up.
You need to get on that, man.
Yeah,
I know, right? It's like
What about you, Brian? Have
That's
you been
probably
reading anything?
terribly honest thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through a power summary. Robin,
Power.
you-
Power.
a power.
Power.
You've got the power.
Oh my god.
So I've been reading Robin, Son of Batman, which this is issue number 2, and it's basically Robin set out to correct the wrongs he's made when he was training with the League of Shadows before he joined up with Batman. And Talia was like, "Hey, you've got a son." It's been really cool.
Surprise.
If you like the character of Damian, I'd definitely pick it up if you haven't already. Next is Sinestro.
Yeah, how's
and-
that series going?
Sinestro is fucking amazing. I love Sinestro as a character, and
Is
Yes.
Cullen Bunn still writing that?
yes.
He writes the Magneto series too. Like
Yeah.
I think his take on writing villains as main characters is pretty solid.
Especially how he made Sinestro and Magneto aren't that far apart of like characters. Like they're evil, but they think they're doing their evil for like good, almost like a.
An ends
like
to
a-
a means to an end.
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah. But it's basically Sinestro's leading his core. This is like one of the second issue after Convergence. And basically the Green Lanterns are gone. I guess if you read that Green Lantern Lost Army book, you know why. But it's just amazing. Sinestro is like one of my favorite villains. Next is Kanan, the Last Padawan. It's basically the early life of after the Order 66 was called in one of those shitty Star Wars movies. It basically follows Kanan from Star Wars Rebels after that whole thing, and how it's like leading into how he becomes the character he is in Rebels.
I haven't read those yet. Like because I still haven't gotten around to watching that damn cartoon. I have every episode of it saved on my DVR, and I just haven't gotten to it yet.
The cartoon's awesome. They just like a month ago they released like the first episode of season 2, which won't come out until November, but it's awesome. I like that cartoon a lot. Next is Batman Beyond. You know, after Convergence, or after not Convergence. What was that thing before Convergence?
Divergence.
No, Divergence was after the weekly.
Batman Eternal.
No, the other weekly.
Oh, Future's End.
Future's End.
Not that weekly. The other weekly. No. Not that weekly. The other weekly.
It basically
Other
follows
weekly.
Tim Drake as Batman Beyond now because Terry died. Spoiler alert. I think I'm supposed to say spoiler
what?
alert first. And he's stuck in a Gotham that is protected against the Brother Eye robots. It's really good. I like Batman Beyond, and Tim Drake as Batman is pretty. The stories are pretty good. Next is Deathstroke, God Killer, and it's basically Hephaestus has given Deathstroke basically a sword that can kill gods, and he's after this one god to slaughter him and shit. And the last issue, issue number 8 that just came out, he goes up against Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman beats the shit out of him. And then
that's true.
One of the only Secret Wars titles that I think is by far the best is Old Man Logan. Basically, Wolverine from the Old Man Logan universe has crossed out of his boundaries on Battleworld, and he's now like traveling through the mutant territories, and he winds up in Age of Apocalypse, and everybody's like, "Wait, you're Logan, but not our Logan."
So
Until
Marvel killed Wolverine and still figured out a way to have Wolverine comics.
And if you've seen any of the previews out there, you know that Old Man Logan will end up in whatever new universe they wind up building after Secret Wars. So yeah,
So
that's
whole
what I've
thing
been reading.
was a little gimmicky.
It depends on whether you actually read comics and appreciate character stories, or whether you just criticize them and never read anything and just call everything gimmicks. Because the 616 Wolverine died and is dead and is still dead, and you know this one is the same guy genetically, but he's a different person. So. Yeah, so I mean, like, you can say, oh, they got Wolverine back, it's just a gimmick, he wasn't really dead, but I'm pretty sure his friends who watched him fucking die, you know, might feel a little bit differently about the issue, but I get that you don't have an emotional
What is gimmicky?
Connection to the characters when you don't ever read a fucking comic.
Stage 1, fight! But what is gimmicky, I think, is making X-23 Wolverine and putting a Wolverine costume on her.
I don't like the costume on her. Like,
it looks
it's just
retarded.
It's not her. Like, the bright colors, the blue and yellow. Like, they should go back to like the yellow and brown, or kill the blue and make it black and yellow or something. You know, like she's never had a costume that wasn't mostly black. You know, and it just looks really weird to see her like all freaking like fucking colorful rainbow. Like, she's not, you know, I mean, Wolverine I guess was never a super cheery happy hero, but like it looks out of place on her.
Yeah, she went from wearing something that made her look like a gothic Hot Topic chick to fucking the X-Force dark uniform to whatever she's wearing in New X-Men.
Yeah, she's been wearing She's got a costume like the other all new X-Men.
Isn't it like white, black, and like a yellowish orange?
Yeah. Here you go.
Yeah.
It's glare going on here, but
Yeah. You can still kind of see it though.
There we go.
Yeah.
Like, how the hell do I hold this so it doesn't glare? So yeah, you know, you can see Jean down there. So it's kind of like the same thing. They've all got like a, you know, white on the torso, black on the sides with like different color splashes. So yeah, I mean, and she like that one. She looks good with that. I like that outfit. But yeah, the especially with the cowl and I mean, I get that it's iconic, and you know that if you're gonna be, you know, the Wolverine, then sure, you know, but like I think she could wear like the I mean, I don't know what the tone of that comic's gonna be, but I think she could wear the X-Force Wolverine costume and look sick.
Yeah, but they're not.
All right.
But they're not.
So we don't have Pirate here to do the little jingle intro, but we are going to do tabletop game of the week. Brian, you've got a game that you wanted to share?
Yeah. The game is called Geek Out.
Oh, Geek Out.
And it's basically to explain it.
Geek Out.
It feels like a mixture of poker and Trivial Pursuit. Basically, you have cards that have topics on them, and the person's turn it is. So the cards go like this. there's different topics. If I knew where the instructions were, that looks upside down. Is it upside down?
I can read that.
Fictional towns in video games. Is that
Yeah.
what it says?
The topics go. Where the fuck are the instructions? So
I've seen this game before. I've heard about this game a little bit. Like I've seen it out there, and I heard it was really cool, but I haven't actually gotten to
Oh, they're right in front of me. Holy shit,
look
I'm dumb.
inside.
So basically, on this version of Geek Out, you have games, comics, sci-fi, fantasy, and miscellaneous.
That's the best Trivial Pursuit ever.
Yeah. And hold on while I pick up something.
None of that stupid history category.
Yeah. So this is how you'd play the game. It would be Doug's turn. For instance, it would be Fox's turn, and I'd ask him a question. 4 named family members of superheroes. So to get this question, Doug would roll a die with colors on it for each topic, and I would ask him. He would be able to say, I can name 4, or he could raise the stakes and say, oh no, I can name 6.
Family names?
Yeah,
Like
so...
last names?
No, like family, like Scott Lang has a daughter, Cassie Lang. Sue Richards is the sister of Johnny Storm. Something like in the lines of that.
Okay.
But before you would answer that question,
Name like 100.
This could be this game could be dangerous
We could do
for us
this.
to play.
We could do
We
this.
could do this.
Yeah.
online.
so before he would answer, say he said 6, before he could answer 6, it would go on to Topher. And Topher could be like, if Topher could raise more than 6, he would take Doug's spot. Then it would go on to
bet 6. Okay.
Yeah, he would bet whatever number he could.
So just
name.
you keep betting up until somebody's like, nope, name them all,
Yeah,
and then you got to
and
name
basically you can either where the poker part would come in is that the betting, and you could also, if people are like, oh, I can't do more than Topher, then they would either say, I call your bluff, name them all, or they could be like, okay, take the points. So if Chris named them all, he would get the card, which would.
them. You know what? Fuck the
indicate
news.
he
Let's
named
play.
all.
Let's play 1 or 2 turns of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So since I have the games on my before we get into the game, I also have a pop culture edition of
That
it.
doesn't sound nearly as fun.
No, but it's probably more playable with more people.
Yeah,
Not the
or
people. Not the
who-
people we hang out with.
Yeah,
Well.
or the people who aren't nerds. All right, so
It's the version
also-
to get everybody else to actually play with you, so you don't
Yeah.
wipe
This
the
is how you
floor with
lure,
them
how
every
you
time.
lure them in and then
So-
smash them with the regular version.
if Chris didn't get his number of families, he would get
He
a
would.
-2 token, which would -2 points.
We don't
From
have to
his
keep score. I
score.
think we just do the round
Yeah.
of betting and answer some questions.
Okay, so let's play this. Since I have the game, I will always read the cards, but I will also play. So let's shuffle this up.
Doesn't seem
Okay,
fair.
so
That doesn't sound fair.
we'll start with Doug. Okay, I'm gonna roll the dice for you, Doug.
All right.
And if it doesn't fall on my floor, and you get the color black. So black is miscellaneous. So this card reads, 2 fictional schools.
Yeah, I
So
can
now-
I can do 2.
Okay, but if you could do more, you could say you could do more.
Yeah, I can do. I'll do 3.
Okay, so Chris, it's up to you now. Can you do more than 3?
Oh yeah, I can do 4.
Okay, if you could do higher than 4, you could say you could do higher for 4.
I can, but I'm waiting to raise again.
Okay, so I pass. Doug, can you do more than 3? Or what did you say, 4?
He said 4.
Okay, can you do more than 4?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so Chris, for the camera, we call your bluff.
Yeah.
God, I could name 4 just X-Men schools. You've got the the Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters. You've got the Jean Grey Academy. You've got the new Xavier School that Cyclops set up at the Weapon X facility in Canada. You've got Gotham Academy. There's even an entire comic about it.
Yeah.
There's the Avengers Academy. There was an entire comic about that one.
All right.
Let's see here. There's Doctor Doom has a school in Latveria.
All right. For the sake of continuing the game,
the Future
let's get to another
Foundation has a
question.
school.
Fuck him.
So you said 4 and you got your 4, so you would get that card to indicate you have 1 point.
Okay.
All right, so now Chris's turn.
I will use this Chipotle napkin to signify that card.
I have them set
Look
up
at
on
my
my computer.
card.
All right, Chris rolled and he got green, which is fantasy. And your question is 2 live action films in which a character is able to speak to animals.
Yeah, I can do that too. Sure.
You could do 2? Okay, I pass because I can't do more than 1. Fox,
I'll do 3.
you could do 3.
Yeah.
Chris, back to you.
Speak to animals. Do they have to be able to understand?
Yes.
I think so. I think the whole speak to animals means
Okay, I think I can do 4.
I'm calling his bluff.
yeah, let's call this bluff.
All right. So these are just live action movies where they can talk to animals. Okay, so you've got Doctor Dolittle,
Yeah.
Doctor Dolittle 2.
Yeah.
That's against the rules.
Wait, what?
Oh!
You didn't say that.
I'll explain the rules as we go on if somebody gets wrong. You can't.
Okay.
You can't. You have You have to
sequels.
do it in franchise. You can't do sequels.
All right, fine. Beastmaster.
That's 2.
What was the other one that I had a minute ago? There was a Lassie live action movie, wasn't there?
Yeah, but I don't think they
That's
could
not
understand.
speaking to animals. That's directing a dog.
Yeah,
What's that? Timmy's stuck in a well? Free Willy?
I
don't know.
No. I'll give you Lassie, but I'm not giving you Free Willy. There's no fucking way.
yeah, I agree.
You didn't say we couldn't do sequels. That's bullshit.
I have to go. Instead of doing the whole things, I'm just going to tell you when that's against the rules. But I'm
Yeah.
not going to take it away from you. You could still go since this is our first time.
So that was 3 then. So suck it.
You were supposed to do 4.
Oh.
So suck it.
There's one obvious one.
Wait, no, how? No. That was 4.
That was 3. Beastmaster, Dr. Dolittle, and
No, he said he was
Lassie.
giving me the other Dr. Dolittle. He said he was giving it to me
No,
because I
not
didn't
the
know that was
other
a rule.
He's not
Oh,
giving
well,
it to
fuck
you.
you.
He's just not going to end your turn.
I've said I'm giving. Yeah, I'm not going to end your turn.
Ah, that's lame.
You know the last. The last one is really obvious.
What about the live action Avatar: The Last Airbender movie?
Where does he talk to an animal?
Yeah, he doesn't talk to animals.
Yeah, dude, you've got Appa, like the giant fucking floating
Oh,
bus.
yeah.
weird
Okay.
thing.
I'm going to give him
Okay,
that.
I'll give
Yep.
that to you.
Yep. Well done, sir.
All right. So Chris has 2. Now it's my turn, and I will.
What's the
roll
obvious one we were missing?
Harry Potter.
Yeah, that's the one I was going to go with.
Okay.
I rolled a black, so that's miscellaneous, and 2 films which live action and traditional animation cross over. Wow, I pass on that.
I can
How
do
many?
one.
2 live actions where traditional and traditional live action and traditional animation cross over.
I could do 1.
Yeah, but the question asks for 2.
Oh,
You would have
Um.
so you would have to do 2 or more.
Yeah, 2. I got 2.
Okay, Chris.
I can only think of 2. So, fuck. All right, go for it, Fox.
You got Roger Rabbit.
Oh fuck.
And,
obviously.
and
Oh, you didn't think of that one?
and Monkey Bone.
Oh fuck. There's also
Monkey
Cool
Bone.
World.
Yeah, I don't even-
Oh, so
Yeah.
Doug has 1 point. As,
Cool
what's-
World, and then Cool World. That's the one I was thinking. I was thinking of Tank. I was thinking Tank Girl, but I was actually thinking of Cool World. So not even close. So I'm glad I didn't bet on that one. Yeah.
So also another rule is if it's your turn and you pass on it, you don't get -2 points, and if you don't get it right, you don't get -2 points. It's
Okay.
only for the people out.
To raise and
Okay.
Let's
steal.
do I'm not sure how
Back to
interesting
Doug.
this is going to be for those people watching, but I'm having fun, so let's do it. Let's do another round.
So,
Round
Doug,
2.
you get black again. And the question is 6 books with numbers in the titles.
6.
Yeah.
6 books with numbers in the titles.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, I can. Yeah, okay, I'll
You
take
could do
that.
6?
I'll do 6.
Topher?
If I pass, am I forever passed, or if I pass and you say 7 and then I think of another
No,
one,
when you pass,
can I then raise you?
No,
No,
once you're
you
past,
forever
you
pass.
out. You're out. You got to make a decision.
Starting at 6, that's rich. No, all right. Well, then I'll pass because I can't quite think of the 6th one.
Okay, Doug, for the sake of the viewers, name all 6.
Batman #1, Hulk #1.
No,
Wolverine
Yeah,
number
that's not in the title.
Numbers, that's not the name of a book.
It says 6 books with numbers in the title, so that would be like Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers.
Okay, Lord of the
that
Rings,
book-
The Two Towers.
Oh shit! I
Yeah,
didn't
you
even think
can't
of
do that.
I didn't
Lord
even
of the
think of
Rings,
like
Two
low
Towers.
numbers like 1 and 2.
Rainbow Six by Tom Clancy. Yeah, I'm never gonna get this.
Yeah. But you don't
Tale
get
of Two
minus 3
Cities,
points.
Catch 22, Fahrenheit 451, Slaughterhouse 5.
Why didn't you fucking take that?
Because I could only think of like 4 or 5, and like I was
Alright.
thinking of big numbers like
Okay.
Fahrenheit
Roll the
451. I
dice.
never even thought of
Okay.
like 1 and 2.
Chris, it's now your turn, and you roll a black. Jesus Christ, there's a lot of blacks.
Yeah, re-roll.
Whoa, that's racist.
Yeah. Well, we all know what happened to Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Red. He gets a
I
red.
apparently don't.
4 visual perception tabletop games.
What?
Wait, what? Visual perception? What the fuck does that mean?
I have no
Yeah,
idea.
re-roll. Do
Okay.
over.
Huh?
Green.
Does that mean 4 like tabletop role-playing games that have the perception skill in them or something?
I don't
Yeah.
know. 4, you got green, so it's fantasy. 4 fantasy films in the 1980s. Made in the 1980s.
Fantasy films, man. Ooh.
And fantasy is like warlocks and magic and
Right.
Okay.
It's anything fantasy. It's not.
Everything I can think of was like early 90s. I'm gonna pass because I don't remember when these movies in my head were actually made.
I'm gonna pass too because I don't remember shit.
So for the win, I have to name 4.
Yeah.
Fuck. That's hard. That's kind of hard, actually.
Yeah.
It's surprisingly difficult.
We could be pass and nobody gets minus.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna try.
Okay.
Okay, so fantasy is anything that's fake, essentially. Yeah.
More like Harry Potter's more like a fantasy.
Fuck. So like horror movies.
I don't
can't
think-
count.
No.
Horror movies would be horror movies.
Yeah.
Sci-fi movies would be sci-fi movies.
All right,
So,
then I pass. Okay.
Okay.
I was
like
gonna try for it, but okay.
So it's
Conan, Willow,
Willow was one of the ones that I was thinking
yeah.
of.
Labyrinth.
Tron.
Tron's probably more sci-fi than
Yeah.
fantasy, but
So I rolled and I have yellow. 2 British sci-fi television shows. Okay, I can name 2.
I pass.
I can name 3.
That sounded like a question.
Fuck.
Come on,
Okay,
take him down,
it's-
Brian. You haven't answered
I
anything yet.
I can't. British. The fuck. Comet the Tank Engine British?
Time's
That's
up.
sci-fi.
Time's up. Topher.
Chris, name your 3.
Okay, Doctor Who, Torchwood, and Deadwood.
Well, good.
All right.
Well,
Let's do
up to
one
Doug
fucking
now.
comic book one. Do it. Put
All right.
one last comic book one, and then we'll hit a few news things before we're finished.
So, Doug, 2 comic book characters that fight with a sword.
What? All right, I'll take 2. Oh yeah, okay.
Chris?
3.
I can name 4. Doug?
No. Pass.
Chris?
5.
Dang.
I could do 6.
Oh shit.
Dang. Turning up the heat. What do you got,
Turn up the
Topher?
what?
What do you got? Come on, bring it. You gonna go 7?
Sure, I'll do 7.
I could do 8.
Dang.
Fuck, I'm gonna have to give you that.
All right.
Let's hear 'em.
8.
Let's hear
Okay. Deadpool.
1,
Yep.
Deathstroke.
2,
Yep.
Wonder Woman.
3,
Black Knight.
4,
Black Panther.
5.
Wait, what? Black Panther? No,
Yeah,
hold
look
on.
it up. He had the Ebony
Yep,
Blade.
he did have it.
Oh,
yeah.
come on.
And 6.
You gotta do 8.
Oh, 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You bet
Shit.
8.
Gamora.
Okay. 6,
Angela.
Okay.
7,
Oh, yeah.
Medieval Spawn.
and 8. Could have gone He-Man too.
I could He-Man. I could have did
He-Man.
Leonardo.
Leonardo is another one I thought of.
Oh.
Nightcrawler.
Shredder.
Nightcrawler
Damn.
has a sword. Corsair.
Holy shit.
Wolverine had a sword when he was back in like.
All right, keep that game handy.
Yeah.
We'll have to throw down some comic book only ones.
Silver
in future
Samurai.
episodes.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. All right, let's talk about news real quick. We're running out of time, but
Pretty much any character from
The X-Men.
Wolverine's time in Japan.
yeah, Jesus. Okay, bit of news. Tyrese.
So who won?
everyone,
In
the
cards,
viewers, because
yeah,
it was
everyone.
fun.
But in cards, you won with 3.
Tyrese confirmed that he had a meeting with Warner Brothers in regards to the Green Lantern movie. Your guys'
Please no.
thoughts here?
Too green, too furious.
Yeah, I don't think he would make a good Jon Stewart. I don't.
No.
I don't think he's been too
Been
many
talking about it
times.
forever.
He's been too many times typecast as that like thug role. Even in like the Fast and Furious movies, like you said, he plays that kind of outlaw thug, and that's just not what Jon Stewart is. Jon Stewart's supposed to be like the moral pillar of society.
Yeah,
like
military man.
he does not strike me as.
Just because he played military in Transformers doesn't mean he'd do
I think
good
that
at
a
Jon
better
Stewart.
like somebody like Denzel Washington, if he was younger, would be a good Jon Stewart. I think that would be awesome. But
the guy who plays what's his name in Thor would be good too, but who knows where his contract is? Eva.
Idris Elba.
Yeah,
Idris Elba. Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Idris
he's not
Elba.
very good.
And the dude in Pacific Rim.
yeah. Marshall.
Also, there's news that Hawkman will be coming to the Flash and Arrow TV shows.
Interesting.
I'm down with it. I mean,
Could be.
they
Could be cool. I feel like they're flirting with the line of too much, though. I think they've done an amazing job thus far, but I think they're starting to flirt with that line of where they're introducing a lot of stuff.
If Smallville could do it, they could do it better.
I haven't seen far enough into Smallville. I
Yeah.
need to watch. I
They
think I've seen
do,
like the first 3
like-
seasons.
One of the last seasons, they do like JLA episode, and Carter Hall Hawkman pops up. So it wasn't bad. I mean, the mask looked awesome. They did the wings pretty good. It wasn't like that bad, but I feel like they could what?
What?
I'm laughing because I said Torchwood, and then the other one I said was Deadwood because I had Torchwood stuck in my head, and Deadwood totally isn't. The show I was thinking of was Broadchurch. How I got Deadwood out of that, I don't
Deadwood
know.
isn't Deadwood. Now thinking about it, isn't Deadwood that like cowboy on AMC?
Yes, it is.
show?
Yeah, it's the one.
Oh,
We
yeah,
totally
you
let
got
it
penalized.
Damn.
Hey, you didn't call me on it. So still counts. It's set in the late 1800s, revolving around the characters of Deadwood, South Dakota. The
Definitely not.
one
a
meant was
show.
Broadchurch.
Jurassic World did amazing numbers in the box office. So much so that they've already set a release date for the sequel to Jurassic World, which will be June 22nd, 2018.
As long as it doesn't interfere with his Guardians of the Galaxy filming, go for it.
Yeah. No kidding.
I haven't seen it yet, but
I haven't seen it yet either.
I haven't either, but I've heard nothing.
Well, we
but
know you
great
haven't. You haven't seen
reviews.
shit. You haven't seen Avengers yet.
You know what? And I'm kind of glad that I haven't, because everything that I've heard about it has been negative.
it was good.
So you just don't listen to us?
Every review that I've read, everything that, like, all the people that have talked about Ant-Man, they're talking about how Ant-Man was fun and everything that Avengers 2 wasn't. And that in comparison, Avengers 2 was just a giant letdown. I'm not in a hurry to see it. You know, ever since I started reading those, I was planning on going to see it. I don't like going out like opening night and stuff when the theaters are packed. But once I started,
So what'd you think of Ant-Man then?
I haven't seen it. It just fucking came out. I just literally got done when you interrupted me. I was saying I don't go out right when the movie comes out. Anyway.
Right. You said you don't go on opening day. It opened like a week ago.
Yeah. So.
And you're all like, "Oh, I'm glad I didn't see it because like the reviews all said that it was bad and it was everything that like Ant-Man was everything that it wasn't." Okay, so did you see Ant-Man?
No.
No.
I didn't say I said it.
Doug doesn't like going with the crowds. They're gonna be like, "Oh,
So-
damn, he shrunk."
So you don't read comic books. You don't
I
watch
did read
comic book
Fuck
movies.
Fuck you.
You-
Is there a button that I can kick him off the fucking podcast? Okay, asshole.
What? But then you'd have like nobody that actually reads comics to talk about shit.
All hail Topher, king and lord of comic book nerd nation, because apparently he is everything that this podcast embodies.
Yeah.
Bow down to him.
Thank you for finally recognizing it. God.
So
Except for
what's next
Pokemon.
on the news list? And when will you have the podcast rendered and uploaded? I rest my case.
His peasants do that for him.
Next,
Right.
DC Comics is suing a clothing company over a Superman-like logo that they had on a T-shirt. I don't know if you guys heard about this.
Nope.
It had the Superman logo shape on the chest of the shirt and was red, yellow, and blue, and it said "Dad" inside the
Oh,
crest.
they're like suing a Target company.
Yeah.
Don't they have enough money? I mean, get out of here.
Yeah,
You have nothing better to do?
I think it's kind of frivolous. It's something that was a limited release thing. It was out for just basically for Father's Day.
Stupid.
I think it's kind of frivolous, to be honest with you.
Man,
it's not going to
shirt that says "Dad" in it.
Yeah, it's not going to negatively reflect upon Superman. It's not going to detract people or deter people from purchasing any kind of Superman-related products or movies or anything like that. I don't see the harm in this.
I do. Superman. Both Superman's fathers are dead. He can't celebrate Father's Day and buy his father the T-shirt, so he's angry and pissy. So he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna sue you. I don't have my fathers. One blew up and the other one died."
Legally, it's not about doing damage. It's about the fact that you are not allowed to trade on somebody else's copyright. That you're not allowed to make money from somebody else's stuff. And like the image, I get that it's like parody and fair use only count when you're not charging for it. So if you're selling a product that visually bears a likeness to something and you're using people's recognition of that to make money, like. Unfortunately, do I think it's really a big deal? No. Are they kind of a dick for suing over it? Yes. But, legally, if they didn't do that, then they're not protecting their copyright, and it could actually weaken it if other people did similar things in the future. So, legally, they're supposed to do that, even though it's a dick move. And, of course, guess it's time for the neighbor to cut his fucking grass. Hold on.
Yes, Your Highness.
Let's see, another thing that I wanted to cover, Jean Lewin Yang, who was a guest on this podcast, he's now writing Superman. He is apparently taking the direction and introducing the possible threat that Lois may discover his secret identity and expose it.
Well, that already happened.
Really?
Yeah.
Then
Yeah,
why
that's
is this?
You'd know that if you read comics.
Fuck you. I'm gonna figure
Wait,
out.
wait,
I'm gonna
Chris
figure
came
out
back.
how to fucking mute him.
High Lord came back. We have to play. Do, 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 do.
I could
If I had
just.
my sword, I'd raise it to you.
Yeah, I could mute him. Actually, that might be worth it.
You mute him to you, but I could still hear him.
That's fine.
Right, but he's the one recording.
Yes,
And
but
he
due to
could
the
still
fact
hear
that
you.
I'm actually the one that's recording this,
I could
nobody
translate.
else would hear him.
I could
Brian,
read the scrolls.
Say this for me. Tell him this.
High Lord Chris says, "Fuck you."
The last thing that I wanted to cover though is some really interesting variants that Marvel's going to be doing in
Are you
October.
talking about the hip hop variants?
Yes, did you see this?
What?
Yes. The Miles comic is like a Nas ripoff.
The
where it's
fucking
like
my favorite
halfway.
is the Ant-Man. That is, I just sent it to you guys in through Facebook.
What are these?
They're variant covers for October month. There's over 50 of them, but they're all hip hop themed.
Oh, okay.
So like my favorite is Ant-Man, which is like the Notorious B.I.G. cover. Where it's just like a little baby Ant-Man sitting on there. That one, and then another fantastic one was Doctor Strange. It's a Doctor Strange the Mystic, and it's just it's like Dr. Dre's The Chronic. It's these are absolutely hysterical. Yeah, Wolverine is a Nas cover.
Iron Man is a 50 Cent cover.
Yeah, these are absolutely spectacular.
I like it.
Which
That's
one?
good.
Iron Man is the 50 Cent. Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah, Invincible Iron Man. Okay, that's fucking great. I think that this is pretty neat. I like this. I think it's something interesting that hasn't really been done. There's going to be some pretty cool variant covers. I think I may go like that Ant-Man one and the Doctor Strange one. I think I'll probably pick those up just to hang on the wall in my office here.
Duncan, the Public Enemy cover.
There's some good ones in there. It's pretty
Ms.
awesome.
Marvel is Lauren Hill.
Howard the Duck is the
yeah. That's
cover.
what What's Howard the Duck's?
The ODB cover where he gets his license.
Yes.
Who has the Wu-Tang? Squadron Supreme has the Wu-Tang cover. I see the Ant-Man.
We got D-Pool.
Oh my god.
What's the D-Pool?
I don't know what it's takeoff of, but just I love that they bring back D-Pooly.
Oh gosh.
I'm not sure what that. I'm not a huge.
That's fucking great. These are really good. So yeah, if you haven't seen those,
Squadron Supreme Wu-Tang Clan.
you can jump over to like Newsarama or Bleeding Cool Comics, any of those websites, and they'll you can check them out. So, but that's about it. That's about it for this week's episode. I'm Fox 2. We got High Master Topher.
Oh hell!
And
You
the
may
whole
be
effing
seated.
Brian.
I'm just a jester.